Dragapult VMAX has established itself as a top deck in Expanded, but in Standard, Eternatus VMAX exists. That fact came front and center in the finals of a recent tournament where this Dragapult deck lost to Eternatus in the finals. Still, even with the dark weakness of Dragapult VMAX, the matchup is not actually an auto loss. That's because this build of the deck uses Lycanroc-GX. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So Eternatus needs 2 turns to attack because they have to double attach, just like your deck. You also play 4 copies of Crushing Hammer because, everyone plays Crushing Hammer. And then you can recycle the Lycanroc-GX with Devolution Spray Z or Z, depending where you live. Devolution Spray, I think it was devolve one of your evolved Pokemon by putting that Pokemon into your hand, and then that Pokemon can evolve with Devolution Spray Z or Z. You put it back into your deck. So it's a little bit trickier to get it back, but this just lets you reuse your Rockruff Lycanroc combo over and over again, and that just slows your opponent down. You'll also notice that the deck plays 2 copies of Aurora Energy. That's because Lycanroc-GX has a GX attack, Splintered Shards for single fighting energy, so that's the Aurora requirement. This attack does 30 damage for each energy in your opponent's discard pile, so it's not amazing, but if they have 3 energy in the discard pile, you can one-shot a Dedenne for 1 energy. And if I ever manage to do that, it will be a surprise to both me and my opponent. Now, I've always had a bit of a hatred for Dragapult just because of how good it was during the Rebel Clash era, but now that things have sort of balanced out with Eternatus and some other decks, let's see what happens today. So my opponent decided to go first. That's bad, but I actually don't have a horrible hand, and I have the Marnie. And yeah, so this should be an okay start. Obviously, you want to go first if you're playing Dragapult, but oh, they are in for some trouble. The Whimsicott. I'm pretty sure this is Whimsicott. If it's anything else, I would be extremely surprised. But Whimsicott maxes out at 250 damage. So as long as they don't have a crazy combo next turn, where they just have Whimsicott, all their tools, and energy and a bosses, my Dragapult V on the bench should be safe. And Lycanroc-GX, this is the downside to this deck. This build of Dragapult is designed to basically shore up your Eternatus matchup. Dragapult's really good. It spreads damage counters to the bench. It does 130. It can handle Mewtwo and Mew. It can do some really good things against a lot of decks, except Eternatus. So that's why you play the Lycanroc Crushing Hammer. But against single prize decks, you have a lot of wasted cards. Crushing Hammer is a wasted card. Lycanroc is wasted. Because, single prize decks, they expect to have all of their attacking Pokemon knocked out because they have such low HP. Their goal is to take their 6 prizes in, 3 or 4 turns. Oh, hello. Okay, so I don't know if they had anything going on or not. This deck does not play anything good. And there's a Rockruff. Okay, so I think I just go for... Oh no, but Reset Stamp is going to be so important at the end of this game. So if I get a Rockruff, I could trade it in. No, I think, I could have guaranteed myself a research for next turn. Maybe that was the smarter move. I should have put it on top, but I'm going to be rearranging my deck anyway. So I will go get Dragapult V. Wow, I prized 2 Dragapult V. That's not good. And I think I will put a Rockruff down. Just because in a pinch, it can attack. So that's good. And I have to get an energy here. If I don't get an energy, I'm just in a horrible position. And I didn't get an energy there, but I guess I'll just ditch the Eldegoss. And just get a Dragapult V. I could get a Jirachi. Okay, maybe I might have to get a Jirachi. You never know. And this is not what I want to be doing. Putting a Crobat V down is just a horrible play for me. And we got... I could retreat, because Team Yellow Grunt's not going to mean anything in this matchup. So I'll just go get a Jirachi. I don't want to put down any more 2 prizers. I want to make their path to victory that much tougher. So I'll do that. And give me an energy. There we go. I'm going to have a lot of Crushing Hammers. Okay. So, yeah, just do that. Attach the... they do play Tool Scrapper, so I guess I should be careful. And, yeah, so just as I was saying, Crushing Hammer is a wasted card because single prize decks, they expect their Pokemon to get knocked out every single turn because they expect you, it takes 6 turns for you to win. Obviously, Dragapult shortens that because it spreads damage counters, but the basic rule is that single prize decks want you to take 6 or 7 turns to win. Well, that's an interesting hand there, so I'm definitely punished for not putting the Air Balloon on, but I mean, I know my opponent's deck plays Tool Scrapper, and if it doesn't, they're kind of crazy. And they're putting a Dedenne down, so I guess I would put... It really depends how I want to play this, because this deck doesn't play Zigzagoon, so I can't, pick off a Cottony. That would be really nice, though. But I can't do that. And the reason I put the Lycanroc down is I was figuring, maybe late in the game, there's a Whimsicott in the active, and I use Boss's Orders or something. So that was my thought process, is maybe Lycanroc does come into play. More so than Crushing Hammer, obviously. Okay, and they're taking the knockout on Jirachi anyway, so that I'm not punished for the Tool Scrapper. And they're taking a prize, so... I mean, things could definitely go downhill. But it would be really nice if I put a Galarian Zigzagoon, because then I could just put a damage counter on the Cottony, and then knock out Whimsicott and Cottony, so... Not being able to do that is kind of tough and kind of rough. And I will not be putting any damage counters on that Cottony, because they'll have to do a lot of things. Lucky Egg is going to be really good for them, and here we go. Lucky Egg it's just an amazing card. If you're playing a single prize deck and you don't play Lucky Egg, I mean, why aren't you playing Lucky Egg? So here we go. Give me an energy. There's an energy. Awesome. So Dream Revelation. There's a Boss's Orders, and you're seeing exactly why I had that game plan in mind. So I think I knock out a Greedent. See if if I flip just nothing on these, that would be bad. And so yeah, I think I go for... Who do I go for? Actually, no, I think I go for Dedenne, because then I have a guaranteed knockout on Dedenne, and that's 2 prizes. So yeah, I hit into Dedenne, and then I will have, just something happening later. And then I need to put 5 damage counters somewhere. I assume that Jirachi is going to stay a Jirachi, and just in case, I'll put 1 there. But I'll just do that. I'm going to have to attack, 3 or probably 4 times to win this game. But they can't one-shot my Dragapult. I didn't want to put the Crobat down, but I had to, just because that helps their math. And there's Dedenne, that's totally fine. Don't care about the U-turn board. And they did have a research. Okay, I was thinking, I didn't know if they bench locked themselves. I didn't know. Oh, hey. Boss's Marnie, that's pretty good. They do have 2 energy in the discard pile. This deck doesn't play a lot of energy. And if they don't find a Whimsicott, then this is the downside of Whimsicott, is they bench lock themselves. They put too many Pokemon on the bench. And this is why I put the damage counter on Cottony, was, just in case. So I'm knocking out Whimsicott, I'm knocking out Cottony. They don't have a backup attacker. It's Whimsicott or bust with that deck. And yeah, this is the thing that always tripped me out. Okay, here we go. So I put them out of their U-turn boards. And then I think I need to ensure that I have another Dragapult. So it is worth the risk here. So I'll attach there. I will, I guess, Bird Keeper. Actually, yeah. I can guarantee that my top deck is maybe something good. And there's Dragapult. Well, I guess I'll take the Dragapult VMAX, and then at least I have a card that would shuffle my deck if they Marnie me. So that was kind of a nothing Jirachi there. And Max Phantom, put 5 on the Cottony. So this is the downside to Whimsicott. It's a great single prize deck, but if you can't string together your Cottonys and your Whimsicotts, it doesn't matter how many Lucky Egg you play. You're not doing anything, because they cannot safely put anyone up front. They put up, I guess they would put up Dedenne. That doesn't seem good. They can't put up Cottony. There's no one good that they can put up. There's no just random attacker. And if I had a Bosses, I would Bosses that, but at the moment, I'm taking 3 prizes there, and then I just attach, and that's game. So You know, they don't play Stoop Up Net. They don't play backup attackers. There's just no one good. There's just no good single energy psychic attacker that would fit into Whimsicott, which is unfortunate. So if you can't get... Oh, they shouldn't do this. They should not do this. Do not attach it. Do not attach it to Dedenne. Read the card. Don't do it. I will take 2 prizes if you attach it. You would have had to attach it before, and the cool thing is with Dragapult is damage counters go through Island Challenge Amulet, I think. Right? Actually, no, I'd have to read that again. I know poison goes through it, but because is it damage from an attack, or is it just damage? I don't know. It's not a big deal. It's probably not going to come into play at least this game or very often, but yeah, if you attach Island Challenge Amulet to a Pokemon that is severely damaged, your opponent still takes 2 prizes. Here we go. Where is it? Island Challenge Amulet? Yeah, so the Pokemon GX or EX this card is attached, it gets minus 100 HP, and when it is knocked out by damage from an attack, that player takes 1 fewer prize card. So if it's knocked out from poison damage or damage counters, then I still take 2 prizes. So Island Challenge Amulet is not amazing. You want to attach it beforehand. If you attached it right now, this would be a 60 HP to Dedenne. It would be knocked out, and I would still take 2 prizes. So the wording on Island Challenge Amulet, it's a little tricky. I'm not really sure what my opponent is hoping to accomplish here, because I'm taking 3 prizes pretty much no matter what. I mean, they could throw up the Oricorio, but then I'm still taking 2 prizes, and then there's a heavily damaged Oricorio. Okay. So this is game. You know, there's nothing my opponent can do. They would have had to take a knockout this turn on the Dragapult VMAX, which was impossible, and then knock out either Crobat or Dedenne. And yeah, Max Phantom, because there's nothing I want to do to prepare for next turn, so I just do that. 1, 2, 3, and then, I mean, it doesn't really matter, because I'm just going to knock out the Oricorio for game. So the only way they could possibly win is if they found space for Crushing Hammer, and they just did everything. They knock out my Dragapult, they Crushing Hammer these 2 energy, and even then, I can probably find a bosses and just use Shred on the Oricorio. So this game's wrapped up, so I'll skip towards the end. I am curious. Okay, they're really pushing this. I don't think there's anything in that deck that can win them the game. I mean, I applaud the effort, but I mean, the writing's on the wall. The game is over. I have game not even in hand. I have game on board. So, I mean, I applaud the effort, but there's just no way you can come back. And there's a Flying Fury, and that's, you know, the downside to Whimsicott is that it maxes out at, I think, 250 damage, and you can only attack with, or you only attack with Whimsicott. You can attack with something else if you want, but the whole deck is built around Whimsicott. And if you just can't string it together turn after turn, you're not going to win, as you saw. You know, if they had just drawn a little bit better, it would have been a much closer game. Because, I mean, if this was last turn, or the turn before, then they would have just been a Crobat or Dedenne knockout away from winning. And if they had held off on putting any 2 prizers on the bench, they would have been in a great position. Unfortunately, that's not how it played out. It's a win for Dragapult. The Lycanroc did not come in handy. The Crushing Hammer did. Isn't it just the best when you get a mystery box and you open a single ticket? That's just great, isn't it? And let's see, did they have any way to win? Nope, they just played the straightforward list and nothing else they could do. Let's go to game 2. They're letting me go first, so I would assume this is ADP or something. And why couldn't this have just been a Dragapult V? You know, I don't ask for much with this deck. I don't want to start a Dedenne against ADP. Oh, it's Boltund. Okay, so I guess I ditch the Switch, go get Dragapult V, and then definitely go get a Rockruff. And the Dedenne is actually going to stay up front, which may or may not be a good idea. But the Dedenne is staying up front. And Lycanroc could come in handy here. So I will attach the Air Balloon. Dedenne will stay up front. And the reason for that is if for some reason they can get a full blitz off, I want the 150 damage on Dedenne. I also have Bird Keeper as my supporter, so, I mean, with the 2 cards in my hand, that's what I wanted, and maybe I should have dug a little bit deeper to get that energy. That was a mistake on my part, but, I mean, if I can just slow them down with Lycanroc, it doesn't really matter. You know, they'll electrify, they'll do all their shenanigans, and then maybe I can just take a big GX knockout with Lycanroc. So it's a bit of a slow start. Maybe I should have dug for another Crobat and another Dedenne. But, I mean, you never know what's going to happen off those. I mean, you saw my first game where, didn't I whiff an energy? Or didn't it just get really, really sketchy? So you're never guaranteed anything. But again, I probably should have done it. And that's interesting. They're going for the Mewtwo and Mew. I have double weakness advantage on you, and you're going for a Mewtwo and Mew. So I have the weakness advantage over Mewtwo and Mew, and I have the weakness advantage over Boltund. If I put 1 energy in the discard pile, I can knock out Boltund. So that could be really tough for them. So if I just evolve, and they don't play Tapu Koko, they are in a rough spot. Though I think I would rather save the Lycanroc for Pikarom. And the Denny's probably just going to be sitting there for a little while. And they're going to do that. So the problem is that my perfect scenario is that I GX that Pikarom. But they could just have, you know, a Boltund knockout on Rockruff. So my perfect scenario is something that probably won't happen, but... So let's do that. I could put 60 damage on it, but then they would just hit me for a lot. So I'll draw 3 cards. There's Lycanroc. I can discard that, I think, for each energy. So it's not basic energy. I think I do evolve, just as that way it is safe. And now this is the tough thing. Do I go for the Team Yell Grunt? Or sorry, do I get rid of the Team Yell Grunt and... Because I don't really need anything this turn. I can't do anything this turn. So I think I just say, if they're going to Marnie me, I'd rather have Quick Ball and Team Yell Grunt in my deck than to get 6 cards that I can't even play. You know, I could play Crushing Hammer or something, but that doesn't seem amazing. So yeah, here comes the full blitz. That's totally fine. They could also use Tag Bolt. That would be hilarious. But I think saving the Team Yell Grunt is good. But I don't really know how good, because they play a lot of energy. They have 3 basic and 1 speed, and they have 3 on the field. They probably have about 3 more basic in the deck. They are probably getting their Tapu Koko right now. That sucks. I really wish that was prized, but... Okay, so they have more energy on the field. That's fine. I guess I just need to hope for Crushing Hammers, or I just go with Dragapult VMAX and let it take a hit. Because this is tough. I don't know if I can win this one. Especially if they full blitz to themselves. Because then they can just bosses the Lycanroc, take a bunch of prizes. Okay, so they went to the... Wow, they have a ton of energy. Okay. So there's Dragapult VMAX. I don't want to use Team Yell Grunt, because that doesn't get me anywhere. Unfortunately, I think it's time to get rid of it. I will go get Crobat just to see what happens. But I'm not liking the situation that is unfolded. And I don't think that energy would have actually really helped me that much. Okay, there's Devolution Spray, so we got that. I know they play Energy Switch, so that's not good. And we got that there. So I guess I just try and Crushing Hammer. Nope. Yeah, there we go. So that goes back into my deck. That is fine. It's just a completely exposed Rockruff. Who cares? And then I need to put 4 damage on the Mewtwo and Mew. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I guess 1 here? Or do I just put 5? No, let's put 1 there. Let's see what happens. Again, slow start. My opponent is just getting everything. You know, it would have been great if they wouldn't have used Tapu Koko, because then it would have been a perfect knockout on the Pikarom. Because it's... Because it's 30 times, so that would have been 4 energy in the discard. That would have been 120 with the weakness. That's 240. Again, if they just hadn't used Tapu, that freaking thing, if you were just prize Tapu Koko Prism Star, I would be so much happier. And Tails, good. And, I mean, they don't really have anyone they can attack with other than Boltund. You know, they want to get a Switch or an Air Balloon and an Energy Switch. Yeah, they're digging. They know that if they can attack with Boltund this turn, they basically just win. So if they, okay, or they can stall with Crushing Hammer, that's also a valid strategy. Hey, Tails. But if they just attacked with Boltund, how much damage are they doing? They're doing like 300 damage, so that's really good. And they have no energy left. Okay, so I think I want to take the knockout with Lycanroc, to be honest, because I don't have a backup Dragapult. They're down 2 bosses. I think this is the time to retreat. Do that. How many Dragapult VMAX am I down? Okay, well, sure, I'll discard that. And then I guess doing this makes sense, but I mean, they still have Tag Bolt available to them, so I guess I'll do that. I don't know, this is tough. Because if they knocked out my Dragapult VMAX, I mean, if they can just get a Tag Bolt, that would have been great. But I don't think they can do Tag Bolt because I took the knockout. You know, they've used Tapu Koko, they don't have Energy Switch, so they can't use Tag Bolt, but they can use bosses and, you know, Tag Bolt for not the secondary effect. They can still knock out Dragapult VMAX, and that would be hugely annoying, and my prizes were horrible, but they're using Marnie. I'm just an energy and hitting into that Mewtwo and Mew away from winning. And surprisingly, they have not taken a prize. And that's horrible. Okay. So I don't quite know why PTCGO is hating me right now. I mean, they're really liking me with these Crushing Hammers, but that's about it. And they'll probably just go for a full blitz. You know, I know they have Speed Lightning Energy. And Speed Lightning Energy, Tandem Shock. Why would you use Tandem Shock? Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so I will put the Rockruff down. I think I want to definitely save that spot. I need to save those 2, so I'm not going to do that. I will Crushing Hammer. If it's heads, I don't know what I'm going after, so that's good. And Air Balloon Energy. Could have just been Air Balloon Energy. Couldn't have just helped me out there. Okay, so I got to put the... I guess I just got to put the Dragapult down. But I mean, they are in a great position right now. Okay, so I don't think anyone has flipped a single heads on Crushing Hammer. I could use Shred, because that would do 120 damage, put them at 160. That wouldn't... Oh, actually, 120... No, that wouldn't help the math, so I think I just retreat into Dedenne. I don't think that really helps me out at all. So yeah, I'll just do that, see what happens. We're both kind of at the mercy of PTCGO right now, and it is being merciless. And they just have the bosses. They just have it like that on my Dragapult. So, I mean, they will need a Tag Bolt. Or if they just have another Speed Lightning, they can do something, because they have Tandem Shock. They could Lightning Ride. Lightning Ride is also a viable strategy. Tag Bolt. So they went for Tag Bolt. That means they can't use Tag Bolt to take multiple prizes. So I have a chance. As long as this thing survives, I'm totally fine. I just need to get an energy, and I will probably... There's an energy. So I'll definitely Reset Stamp. I will probably put Eldegoss down and use Research. And because Research is much more 24 card. Yeah, I have to put Eldegoss down. I don't have a boss's orders in there, so yeah, this is the smart play. Going to get a Research. I don't have a boss's in my discard, so saving the Eldegoss for later makes 0 sense. I need to get Dragapult VMAX. And they win with the bosses. Oh, crap. Okay, so I don't know what happened, but if they... Oh no, they can't bosses. Hang on. How much damage is Boltund doing? It's doing 40... Oh crap. 730. And we flipped tails. I think every single Crushing Hammer. I think we played 8 Crushing Hammer and it's all been tails. And I have game. So as long as they don't retreat, I have game. That's kind of hilarious that it has all finally worked out on a reset stamp of all things. I research into nothing and then they stamp me into everything I need. So the only way that they can survive next turn is if they don't attack with Mewtwo and Mew. So if they attack with Boltund, they have a chance. So they need boss's orders for the following turn. I do have a reset stamp somewhere, I think. And all they did was get a Pikarom with a Cherish Ball. I think they're just weighing their options to see what happens. But they take this knockout, they go down to 1 prize. If they take the knockout with Boltund, then they are in a great position and they just need boss's orders for game. If they take the knockout with Mewtwo and Mew, then they're just hoping that I don't have Dragapult Energy. But as you can see, I have Dragapult Energy. But if they retreat those 2 energy off the Mewtwo and Mew, they don't have an attack. They would have to use Static Shock from Dedenne. So, well, actually, Boltund is surviving, so that doesn't matter. And yeah, I'll just throw that up. So the Boltund, this is a downside to Dragapult VMAX, is that, I mean, it does 130 damage. That's not exciting. So if I have a reset stamp left in deck, I need it right now. Okay, well I can get rid of... Oh man, if only I'd been able to put that other Rockruff down. So I will do that. Do that. Oh no, I can't. I was going to say, if I devolve this one, no, that would have been a game-losing scenario. And actually, I don't want to use... Oh... No. Okay. So yeah, there's nothing I can do. I don't need to put any damage there. I'll just put 1, 2, 3, whatever. Sure. Doesn't matter. They either win this turn or they don't. And then I win. So let's see. Do you got it? They do need an energy, but I think they have energy switch. So it's just going to be bosses, energy switch. Good game. I lose. Yeah, that's just super unfortunate. Oh. Well, I can just stall them out. Oh, man. Okay, I seriously thought they had it. I totally thought that they had that game. I can't see their deck list, so I can't see what they had. Oh, man, that was super close. I mean, I think I wasn't keeping track that well, but I think we went 0 for 8 on Crushing Hammer. So I like to see that. I did have 2 reset stamps, so I had another one. I just didn't get it. Team Grunt, it didn't really come into play. So that was an exciting final game. Yeah, that's one of the problems with Pikarom is in a long game, they do run out of energy, as you saw. You know, they put 4 on a Pikarom, 4 on a Mewtwo and Mew, and then they were just relying on Speed Lightning on their Boltund. Really good game. I think I'll end the video here just because, I mean, the first 2 games were really good. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time. I think my next video might be my 500 pack opening, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you then.